Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. Hey everyone. I never thought I'd be one of those people making a post like this, but here I am. I'm feeling a little lost. So I thought I'd come to this sub to seek advice. So, there's a couple of things that have made me suspicious lately. For starters, my wife is always complaining about a guy from her work named Mark. She constantly tells me what an ass he is and that no one at her workplace can stand him. Yet she talks about him. A lot. I mean, a bit too often for my comfort, if I'm being honest. And then there's the thing with her nail appointments. They've been taking way longer than they used to. One day my curiosity got the better of me, and I drove by the salon to check on her. There she was, walking out of the coffee shop next door saying goodbye to some guy. She looked surprised to see me, but not overly so. When I asked her about it, she told me he was an old classmate from elementary school. She seemed calm, and her explanation didn't feel forced. But the thing that's really bugging me happened at the grocery store last week. I had to run back to grab a loaf of bread we forgot, and when I returned, she was trying to end a conversation with another guy. She was visibly nervous this time. She told me he was a guy who had married one of her distant cousins, and that she found him annoying. She seemed relieved when I showed up. I checked it all out on Facebook, and sure enough, this guy Charles was in fact married to a third cousin, Marcia. All I know is that our love life has been lackluster lately, and she's always on her phone. I mean, she's always been attached to it, but it seems to be increasing. Maybe I'm just losing my mind? So, yeah, I'm worried, and I don't know where to begin with this. Confronting her outright feels like a bad move, and I'm not about to play detective without some solid advice. Who do you all think she might be cheating with, if she is at all? Mark, the classmate, the cousin's husband? Or am I just being paranoid? And how should I approach this? Any advice or insights would be greatly appreciated. I just want to know the truth, but I'm not sure how to get there without causing a whole scene. Thanks in advance. Here are a few of the responses that he received. Response 1. Hey man, I've read through your post and I honestly feel like you might be overreacting a bit. It's common for relationships to evolve over time, you know? I've been married for 15 years and my wife and I have had our fair share of ups and downs. People change, feelings fluctuate, and it's all a natural part of the journey. She might just be venting about Mark. We all have that one colleague who drives us nuts. And about the nail appointments and random encounters, it could be pure coincidence. Remember, communication is key. Maybe have an open and honest conversation with her about how you're feeling. It could be just a phase, and working through it together will make your relationship stronger. Don't jump to conclusions, breathe, and try to see things from a broader perspective. All the best. Response 2. Nope, it's definitely Mark. Look, when a woman consistently bitches about a guy, there's often more to the story. It's like they can't get them out of their head. Happened to a buddy of mine. His girl wouldn't shut up about this jerk at her work. Turned out she was seeing the dude on the side. Plus, a shift in the bedroom dynamic is often a red flag, my friend. You gotta confront her about this Mark guy. Ask her straight up what's the deal with him. Or better yet, do some snooping of your own before you bring it up. Stay strong, bro. Response 3. Trust your gut, man. If something feels off, it probably is. I'm betting on Charles, though. The way she was nervous around him, big red flag. First things first, try to get into her phone. Check messages, call logs, social media, the works. If that's not an option, consider following her or even hiring a PI. If you're not comfortable doing it yourself, ask a friend. But you need concrete proof before confronting her, or she'll just deny it and cover her tracks better. I've been there, and waiting for the truth to magically reveal itself doesn't work. You gotta take the bull by the horns, get the evidence, and then face it head on. Good luck. Here's his follow-up post. Hey everyone, I'm back, and you won't believe the roller coaster I've been on since my last post. Firstly, thank you for all the advice and messages. It meant the world in those insane moments of doubt and confusion. So here's the update. I took some of your advice to heart, especially those of you who told me to trust my instincts and those suggesting getting some professional help. No, not therapy. Though God knows it feels like I need it now, but a PI. I hired this guy, not cheap, but efficient. And well, my gut wasn't wrong. Every Wednesday, my wife and Mark had a ritual, an early leave from work and a cozy hotel room. The PI got it all, pictures, videos. It was undeniable. I felt like I was in some bad movie, you know? It's crazy how your entire reality can shatter with just a bunch of photos. So I started doing some digging, and get this, Mark has a wife. Surprise. Her name is Shannon. What really was a surprise is that she is actually beautiful. I figured she deserved to know, so I reached out. We met at a coffee shop across town. I showed her everything. The proof. And man, the whirlwind of emotions that spiraled through her eyes was something I'll never forget. We were both victims, strangers yet companions in this messed up journey. Now, here's where it gets wild. Shannon, with tears barely dry, came up with this plan of revenge. I was all about getting revenge. But being in that hotel room when they got there and surprising them, not with anger, but by being caught in the act ourselves. She's attractive, but hell, I was still reeling, you know? I couldn't do it. I walked out of the coffee shop. We agreed on revenge, but this was another level. Before I left, I told her that we should talk in a day or two. Hat revenge was great, but that this was too far. That night, while my wife and I were eating supper, she started her usual rant about Mark. Every word was a needle, pricking and prodding the festering wound of betrayal. I wanted to explode, confront her right there, but I held it together. Barely. The next day, still raw and reeling, I messaged Shannon. Hours turned into an eternity as I waited for her response. Paranoia set in. Was I a pawn in some sick game? Was this her revenge? Just when I was about to lose it completely, her message popped up. She was still in, her plan unchanged. The following week, with Shannon's plan echoing in my mind and my nerves a chaotic mess, I found myself in the hotel's lobby. Adrenaline and anxiety coursed through my veins as I approached the desk, flowers and chocolates in hand as props for my act. I told the lady at the desk that I came early to try to get into the room my wife had booked. I told her it was our anniversary, and that I wanted to get in there and get things set up for my wife's arrival. The clerk handed over the key with a knowing smile, and the plot unfolded. Shannon met me at the side door, her face a mix of anger, excitement, and something undefinable. We were two betrayed souls, stepping into a set of circumstances that neither of us had asked for. We waited in that room. Every passing minute, a confrontation with the reality of our spouse's betrayal. Finally, my wife's car made its way into the parking lot. It was time. As beautiful as Shannon is, I have to admit, I nearly couldn't perform due to stage fright. But I somehow managed to get things going, and my anger and rage turned into a passionate fury of revenge. Then, just a few minutes later, they walked in, and the looks on their faces, priceless and painful all at once. They knew that they had been caught, and the tables had been turned. The confrontation was as messy as you'd imagine. Shouting, accusations, the whole dramatic affair. I was naked for crying out loud and banging another man's wife right in front of my wife. Jesus, man. After they stormed out, Shannon and I, we were caught in this weird space. Betrayal and revenge, it's a potent mix, and in that moment of victorious confrontation, a wild, rebellious energy took hold. We got our revenge all right in more ways than one. After we both came down from it all, we talked for a bit before getting ourselves dressed and leaving the hotel. I went home and my wife was not there. I got myself a snack and waited for her to finally show up. The confrontation with my wife was as explosive as a pack of dynamite. In the aftermath, amidst the smoke and debris of a love I once believed invincible, the decision echoed loud and clear. Divorce. I told her it was over and that I was filing the next day if I could. I told her to get her shit and to get out. A few days later, she did just that, but not before trying several times to beg and plead for forgiveness. Then when I would not forgive her, she would get angry and tell me I was doing the same thing. I did that one time, but she tried to make me out to be a cheater by nature, and like I had been doing this for a while myself. I shut that shit down. No freaking way, woman. I did that to get back at her and to make her feel some pain like I was feeling. Sure, it was probably wrong, but my marriage was over. I might as well take the gloves off and start completely annihilating what was already done for. As for Shannon and Mark, they met the same fate. Foundations built on lies and deception are as stable as sand, and their castle crumbled just as swiftly. I still talk to Shannon now and then. She even came over once for round 2 of revenge, this time without an audience. I'm not saying that we are going to be a couple, but it's nice to put the fire out now and then, and we do get along really well, obviously. Anyway, so here I am, battered yet unbroken, the truth my cruel yet necessary companion. It's a bitter pill, but I'm swallowing it down with the harsh chaser of reality. I'm not the same man who first posted here, drowning in doubts and suspicions. The truth, as agonizing as it was, has set me on a new path. I feel dirty yet more mature. I feel like I was naive before, but now I have somehow gotten a new understanding on the complexities of this life and how to handle them. So if there's anything to take from my twisted tale, it's this. Take the leap, confront the demons, and embrace the agonizing yet liberating truth. In the scorched earth of betrayal, the seeds of a new beginning lie waiting. Through the flames, beyond the pain, there's a rebirth, raw yet real, waiting for those brave enough to walk through the fire. I hope my story, as messed up as it is, serves as a stark reminder, and perhaps an inspiration. Action, confrontation, and the harrowing journey to truth. It's a path walked alone, yet one that leads to a destination where the air, though tinged with the acrid smoke of burnt bridges, offers the first breaths of a life reclaimed. Life is gritty. Embrace the grit, I guess, and make something out of this for yourself. Good luck and thanks again. Well, that went places I did not expect. What are your thoughts? Was he wrong for going along with Shannon's plan for revenge? Should they have done something else? Did they lower themselves, or were they just trying to make their spouses feel the same pain they were feeling? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.